Hi there, welcome to another segment of Short Shots by the Sure Shot. Today I'm going to discuss Class 3 or National Firearms Act weapons, the process it takes to own one, what they are, and the restrictions on each one, and try and clarify. This is something that we see a lot of in the store. People will come in, we sell suppressors, have been selling suppressors and machine guns for 10 or 15 years, and people still come in and they'll say, I didn't know they were legal. But so I'm not going to go through the process. I'm going to explain it to the legalities, and I'm going to go through the process, and then I'm going to tell you about the limitations of what makes each one different. Okay, National Firearms Act was actually instituted in 1934. This was something that the government did to try and prohibit the possession of fully automatic weapons by the gangsters of that era. And of course, as you can see, it worked real well. The gangsters are not going to pay attention to a law. The only people it affected were the law-abiding citizens. But anyway, they instituted this act, which required you as a citizen, if you wanted to own a machine gun, a silencer or suppressor, short barrel shotgun or explosive device, you have to fill out paperwork and meet the criteria, send it in, and there was a $200 permit for being allowed to possess these items. And what we've got is, like I said, what they cover is machine guns, silencers, short barrel shotguns, short barrel rifles, and explosive devices. Now, the difference between each: a machine gun is a fully automatic weapon. Any weapon that fires, as ATF describes it, any firearm that fires over 2 bullets with a single pull of the trigger is considered a full automatic weapon. So they are restricted. Right now you got bump fire stocks, which bump fire stocks actually require you to pull the trigger each time, so it's not considered a full automatic weapon. Same way, if you remember back in history, in the late 1800s, they came out with the Gatling guns. Gatling guns are not considered machine guns because you have to manipulate a crank, which actually pulls a trigger or drops a hammer each time you turn the crank, so it's not considered a fully automatic weapon. But so that's the machine guns. Silencers or suppressors, you have 2 different terms: silencer and suppressor. A silencer is a device. It's not necessarily the device, but the ammunition. If the ammunition is going below subsonic, which is 1,050 foot a second, that's subsonic ammo. With subsonic ammo, a silencer is a silencer or suppressor will actually silence the noise of the bullet. So as long as the bullet is traveling below 1,050 foot a second after it leaves the barrel, it will be silenced. You can barely hear it. You'll hear the air move. You'll hear whatever the bullet strikes. On the other hand, if you're shooting supersonic ammo in it, it's a suppressor. It will suppress the noise, but it's not going to silence it. Now, it distorts the noise to such an extent that it's very hard to be able to decide where it's coming from if you're standing here and somebody's, say, shooting at you or whatever. So it's very hard to figure out where it's coming from. So the 2 different terms are silencer and suppressor, and it's all dependent on the speed of the bullet, on whether it silences it or suppresses it. Right now we have a lot of interest in suppressors. Machine guns, in 1986 they passed a law that said there would be no more fully automatic weapons manufactured or imported for the civilian populace. At that point in time, all of our machine guns doubled in price. Since 1986, the price on machine guns has increased tenfold. We don't sell a lot of machine guns because they're just so price prohibitive. But silencers and suppressors are relatively cheap, and they're very common, and there's a lot of different companies out there making them. You still requires the $200 tax stamp for each individual device. A lot of people will come in and they'll fill out the paperwork required, and they'll say, well, the next one I do, it won't take as long because I've already filled one of these out. That's wrong. It takes the same amount of time every time. It's like a new application every time. And you have to pay the $200 for each item. Now, in 2015, there was a bill presented before Congress called the Hearing Protection Act of 2015. That bill was designed to help sportsmen in this country be able to possess silencers and be able to hunt with them. In Europe, hunting with suppressors is almost required. It's considered to be uncouth and rude not to hunt with a suppressor because you're disturbing your neighbors. In this country, we still haven't gotten there. We're trying to get there now, and they're trying to deregulate the suppressor so you don't have to pay the $200 tax stamp and you can buy them across the counter. Right now, suppressors are requiring somewhere akin to a 10-month wait. We were pushed back, we were at 8 months, now we're pushed back to about 10 months to get the application through so you can possess your suppressor. The Hearing Protection Act was going to try and deregulate that. The information we're getting currently is saying that the Hearing Protection Act, it's back before Congress now, but it won't pass until fall of next year at the midterm elections. That's the rumor that's out right now. That when Trump went into office in January, they said as soon as he got it, one of the companies said as soon as he got inaugurated, the Hearing Protection Act was going to be passed by executive order and we were going to be able to sell suppressors across the counter. That turned out not to be true. So right now the speculation is that the Hearing Protection Act will not pass until midterm elections sometime, let's say like October of 2018. Now the process that you have to go through to get a suppressor or a machine gun or a short barrel rifle or a short barrel shotgun or an explosive device is such. You come in, we have to have the said device in stock so we can get the serial number off of it. The first thing we do is we give you a set of fingerprint cards. Blue are for security clearances or for common usage, red are for criminal usage. So you get a set of blue fingerprint cards, you go to the law enforcement agency in your area of your choice, you get your fingerprints done. Then you go get me 3 2x2-inch passport photos. You bring all that back here, and then we sit down, you sign off on this citizenship declaration declaring you are a citizen of the United States, and then we fill out your Form 4. Your Form 4 is the actual application, and we go through here, we put the serial number of the item description and all on here, and you put all your information. You come through here and you answer the questionnaire, and you sign it and date it just like an affidavit. Now there's 3 different copies in here. That's the reason we have 3 different pieces of the Form 4. The last copy goes to the local sheriff. The CLEO, what they call the CLEO, Chief Law Enforcement Officer in the area in which you reside. So the last copy will go to him and he'll know what you have, but that's about the only person. So anyway, we fill out the Form 4 in its entirety. Get your 3 passport photos, a check for $200, the fingerprint cards, and the citizenship declaration, and we package all that up and we send it off to the ATF. And like I said, right now it's taken 8 to 10 months to get it back. So we've hit a log jam, and we're hoping that's going to speed up here in the future. Now let me explain the differences between short barrel shotgun and short barrel rifle. A short barrel rifle, a rifle is considered any firearm that has to have at least a 16-inch barrel and be 26 inches overall. So the overall rigid length of the weapon, and what I mean by rigid length, when we start talking about guns like this, and you start talking about flash suppressor, the flash suppressor will unscrew, so therefore it's not considered rigid length. So the barrel has to be 16 inches from here to here, and then the rigid length has to be 26. This particular firearm is considered a handgun because the barrel is under 16 and the rigid length is under 26. So anything with a barrel length under 16 and a rigid length under 26 is considered a handgun. Now, if the rigid length of the firearm goes over 26 with a short barrel, then it's considered a short barrel rifle, like this. This has the barrel's under 16, but the rigid length's over 26. So therefore, this is considered an SBR, short barrel rifle, and you have to buy a $200 permit for it. The same thing with shotguns. Shotguns require a barrel length of 18 inches and an overall length of 26. So if it's under that, it's considered a short barrel shotgun. Right now, there's just been a revision with ATF on short barrel shotguns. For somehow over the years, nobody had delved off into the terminology used to describe a short barrel shotgun. And where we're at right now, it's just been a short barrel shotgun has just been redefined. Mossberg and several other companies, Remington and several other companies are putting out guns now that are short barrel shotguns. They're pistol grips with under 18-inch barrels. What the terminology said in the law was that if the gun is manufactured in that configuration at the factory, then it is legal. If you reconfigure it and cut the barrel off under 18 inches and cut the stock off under 26, then that's an illegal short barrel shotgun or sawed-off shotgun. So here soon we'll be getting the new Mossberg Shockwave, which is actually an under 18-inch barrel shotgun with an under 26-inch length that is legal, that we can sell across the counter without any kind of documentation. Same thing with, I think we already covered short barrel rifle. Short barrel rifle, you know, is anything under 16 inches and overall 26. A shotgun is anything under 18-inch barrel length and 26 overall. Explosive devices are considered rocket launchers, grenade launchers, or anything like that. And yes, you can possess them if you can find them. You may not find any ammunition to shoot in them, but they're out there. So that pretty much covers the Class 3 or NFA, National Firearms Act 1934 firearms. If y'all have any questions about that, message me on Facebook and we'll be happy to answer any further questions if this is not clear. And that pretty much concludes this segment of Short Shots by the Sure Shot. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.